Welcome back. Now, Edcon may be handed a lifeline to keep it going for a few more years. Meanwhile, construction company Group 5 is under new management, but the market doesn't seem to like this at all. Joining me now to unpack the day's market movements is Rofhiwa Madzena. Rofhiwa, good to see you. Are you well?
I'm well, Tony. Are you well?
I'm very good. Always well. Now, Edcon is inching closer to more funding.
Right, so the CEO today came out to say that the company is making progress to secure 3 billion rand worth of funding to keep the company going for about 3 more years. We do know that they've hit really bad troubled waters, and the idea for the company to stay afloat is to just be able to secure funding. And it's very important because Edcon, it employs 21,000 people. And if we saw the likes of your Jets and your Edcon stores close, it would mean that it would be the biggest job bloodbath the country's ever seen, the country's history actually. So it's very important that Edcon is able to secure that funding, and the PIC is also expected to contribute to that funding. They are set to contribute about 1.8 billion rand. So the chief executive says everything is on track, and as soon as that funding comes through, then operations will be running smoothly for about 3 years.
That would be a tragedy to see Edcon.
Absolutely,
it would.
Yeah, it would be.
Okay, Group 5 now, the CEO resigns and the share price takes a nosedive.
So this is a very interesting move, I think, by Group 5, because yesterday the share price surged by over 50%, and this is when they came out to say that they were going to have a counter claims for a project they were doing in Ghana that was halted, and they were forced to pay the Ghanaian service provider for the halting of the project because it was stalled and it was never finished. But Group 5 has always maintained that the reason the project was stalled was not their fault. There was contaminated water in the area, and it was very difficult for them to work. So they've got a multi-million-dollar claims that's going to be happening, and it's going to bring the company back into a good standing, financial standing. We do know that a lot of companies in the construction sector are struggling, and Group 5 is one of them. They've been struggling quite significantly. So this cash injection, if it comes through, will be very substantial for it. Today, however, the CEO, Temba Musai, resigns, and the share price plummets about 30%. So we don't know whether they are feeling jittery about the incoming CEO, the instability within the management in terms of taking the company forward. So we wait to see how exactly they'll be taking this approach in terms of finding a direction to bring the company back.
Was there any controversy with his resignation?
No controversy with his resignation. It's just a matter of needing stability, which the company hasn't had, and that's what's led to a lot of the financial troubles.
Okay, so now economic data coming out today didn't bode too well for the rand.
So the rand lost a lot of the gains that it made this week, actually fell off it retreated from its 6-month high. We saw PMI, Purchasing Managers Index from APSA, come out, and we dropped to about 49.9 index points. And then this is obviously from about 50.7 index points that we saw in December. So the rand really reacting negatively to that. And what was surprising, though, is that there is an improvement in the business conditions index. So while we saw a lower PMI, the sentiment around business conditions in South Africa that's doing business in the different sectors has improved. So we do see then that the PMI is on a solid footing, and it may increase. Another good element to this is that businesses are confident about the fact that there was no load shedding in January, which means manufacturing and the like could take place quite smoothly. So that's what contributed to that number there. And then one of my favorite indices to look at is new vehicle sales. So once when Jill Marcus was still the governor, she says vehicle sales are a really good indicator of the health of the consumer. So they were down about 7.4% in January, which shows that the health of the consumer is not great. Yeah. We did see, though, that business vehicles such as your bakkies and your trucks did increase. So that shows that businesses are operating quite well within the country. So we hope to see a little bit of an improvement, but it's not going to be something that happens suddenly given the current economic climate that we're in.
I'm sure more second-hand cars are moving.
second-hand cars are moving, and I must just tell you some of the popular ones that are selling. Toyota Hilux, VW is still at the top, Polo, the Vivo, Toyota Corolla, Ford Ranger, and Hyundai and Isuzu. But Toyota is a really popular one. It's affordable, it's durable. I don't own one. I don't know if you own one, but apparently it's a trusted brand, and that is one that kind of that keeps the industry going despite the current economic climate.
Yeah, very true. I mean, in this particular climate, a Toyota will do everybody good.
Indeed.
All right. Thank you so much, Rofhiwa.
Thank you.